So here's something a little bit different, or different for me. This is the TSR2, as you can see. There's another TSR2, but it's actually a Stratus 4. Yeah, so a little while ago I've been looking out to buy a model kit of the TSR2, and I won't go into great detail about it, but brief history. The TSR2 was a strategic supersonic nuclear bomber that was designed and built by the British back in the mid 1960s, around late 1950s, mid 1960s, when it was built and prototyped. And I think they built 3 vehicles altogether. And the flight test and that eventually proved to be pretty successful. Was like, you know, it basically did everything it was designed to do in testing. It was very fast. It was a supersonic bomber, but unlike other such vehicles with fairly short wings, it was able to take off and land on airstrips that were shorter than most. So basically it has some clever designing, some clever gimmicks on its wings to enable it to have greater lift than a vehicle of this size would normally would. And it was apparently going to be a very good aircraft. But then I think it was the Labour government at the time just canned it for no good reason, and instead bought the American equivalent, which was the F-111 Aardvark, which, as I understand, was not as capable as this vehicle was, and but you know, it was American, and Americans need to be in charge of everything at the time, particularly with the war machines. So no offense to Americans out there, but yeah, I think this would have been a better aircraft, but that's beside the point. This, as you can see from the box, has some Japanese anime connotations to it. Stratus 4 it says here. So Stratus 4 is, as I understand it, a Japanese anime, which I'd never heard of. I'd seen this box around, and in fact after I bought this 2-3 weeks ago, I decided to have a look at what the video was, what the show was, and found some DVDs available on eBay, but they were asking what, £20. So it's a TV series, and there was like various volumes for the episodes. I think 4 episodes a volume, and for £20 I thought, I'm not going to bother. But then one of the sellers who was selling that DVD, I think it was volume 1, suddenly dropped the price down to $4.99. So I thought, worth a try. So I thought, well, worth a go, I think, for $4.99. And here it is. So the anime, Flight 1. So Flight, I like it. So normally it'll be volume 1, but this is Flight 01, Stratus 4. As you can see, that's the aircraft there with an M5 on the side of it. So it looks like a bunch of schoolgirls and supersonic bombers. Not sure how that works out, but I haven't actually watched this yet. I'll probably watch it soon. There's 4 episodes on here, and looks like this vehicle, I don't know if it goes out into space as well, but as you can see from the model diagram here, there is a some kind of large missile held underneath the vehicle. So there you go. I'll watch this later, and I'll let you know what I think if you like. Yeah, if you're interested to know my feelings of it, you know, I'll probably do a quick review of it on my other channel. Anyway, let's take another look at this thing. As you can see, the box is a bit battered. Get on. The box is a bit battered, and I haven't opened it yet. So, actually, I have opened it, but I haven't had a good look at the contents. But yeah, so on here you got the depictions of the characters of the TV show, the vehicle itself, the Stratus 4, which I think is called, and maybe that's the M5, and Stratus 4 is the group that these things belong to, the squadron maybe, if you like. Not certain, haven't watched the show yet, as I mentioned before. Anyway, On this side, 172 scale TSR2 M5. Lot of stuff in Japanese there. So I'm assuming that Airfix made this for the Japanese market, because Airfix did have made a 1/72 scale kit of this vehicle, and I'm not sure if they were the first people to do it, but they did do it quite a while back. And so it looks like the Japanese people who made this vehicle, who made this show rather, decided to use that as their primary vehicle of the show. So, and as Airfix made it, maybe a collaboration happened that way. Anyway, that's that. Again, everything in Japanese except where it says Hornby. Hornby Hobbies Limited, Westwood Margate, Kent. On this side, can't see the screen there. On this side, TSR2, Airfix, there's a number there. Can I see what it is? Airfix A08011. Not sure. Let's see if it appears elsewhere. On this side, some dialogue in English. Side view of the vehicle. Let's get it all in. In 2XXX, the Earth has been exposed to the menaces of approaching comets. To prevent this disaster by the comet impact, the Cosmic Agency Management Agency, the Comet Emergency Management Agency, I learned to read Mark, is established by the United Nations, and they go ahead with the SS Space Shield project that consists of 2-tier global defense system. You can read the rest of it later. Yeah, pause and read it all if you want to. But suffice to say, yeah. Again, the translation of this looks like it's basically been translated from Japanese into English, but by somebody who's very good, by a Japanese person who does English very well. So those of you who know what I'm talking about will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's take a look at the insides of this box. Oh, there's stuff in the back of the box as well. So the back of the box is also up front of the box. So you got a painted, a built-up and painted model. Now, as you can see up here, you got characters in the vehicle, and they look a bit uncomfortable in there. Not sure if that's why that is, but I guess that's how they designed it. So that means that the canopy is different to the actual canopy of the TSR2, because on the TSR2 it's basically two separate parts, but here's just one large bit. So I wonder if there'll be the option to build the proper TSR2 as opposed to the anime Stratos 4 M5 TSR2. Let's find out. So this arrived to me on the 8th of June. Bought it from somebody on eBay. £31 it cost me altogether, plus postage. So nothing else in the box. So there's a bit of paperwork. This little thing here for Airfix Club. So Airfix fans will be aware of the Airfix Club. Basically, buy a pile of Airfix kits, and they do include on the box. There's one here. That's a bit, it's a bit rubbed out, but it's like a little ticket token. And you collect up the tokens, and after a while, you've got enough tokens, you can claim a model kit. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time since I've actually had to go at the Airfix Models Club, but that's beside the point. Paperwork, the instruction manual seems pretty hefty. Okay, so let's put the plastic to one side for the moment, and let's have a look at the paperwork. Large sheet of paper, so slightly bigger than A4, letter size I think. So Airfix TSR2 So it looks like, so some parts in the kit may not be required to build a model. So let's, what else is in here? put these to the side for the time being. Right then, let's have a quick look at the manual. So I'm not going to dwell heavily on the bits and pieces. Just going to go straight in and have a go. So first page, you got the instructions. Study drawings and practice assembly before cementing parts. Basically what to do before you do it. And then you start off with the cockpit, and then you got the characters of the cockpit which fit in there like that. It's like riding some kind of bicycle for them, I guess. And then here it tells you to cut off this piece here, part of the cockpit. So I'm guessing this is entirely the Stratos 4 M5 version. So on page 4 you've got sections 5 to 9, which is putting bits on the body and so on, internal parts, wheel wells. Well, you've got some fairly well shown wheel wells. I was looking at somebody building one of these, but they'd got hold of resin parts, more highly detailed resin parts for the wheel wells and for the cockpit. And for this model, if you want to make it look like the actual TSR2, they make them in handy, but I'll see. Depends what the plastic shows. So building the engines over here on page 5, putting the wings together, some detailed dimensions of what to do there, and so on. Next page, putting the wing on top of the vehicle. Let's get the whole thing. So putting the wing on top of the vehicle, canopy and so on. So they've got a choice of having the canopy open or closed. So this is a part that goes into the tail. So I'm guessing this piece here is a modification on the anime version as opposed to the real version. More bits and pieces there. So doing the underneath, the lower half of the vehicle, the bomb bay, and other bits and pieces. So yeah, mounting for the this massive rocket that it carries. Onto this page, you put it on the wheel well coverings, and there you go. That's interesting. So all this part here is building the one from the TV show, and then this half, you can see you got a normal cockpit. So that's pretty good of Airfix. You got the choice to build either the anime version or the real version. So yeah, got pilot and crew, normal cockpit arrangement. Goes over to this side. So basically you're building the thing again. Yeah, so it's a whole new set of instructions doing pretty much exactly the same thing you did before, but without the added elements that made the M5 the anime version. You've got landing gear as well, you've got the canopy, that's normal. I'll probably be building this version, to be honest. And on page 13 you've got all the undercarriage, also wheels. So we've got the main gear, which is made of 2 sets of wheels in line, and the front gear 2 sets of wheels side by side. And then on the back end, installing the bomb bay, and then you got the option to have it wheels down or wheels up. And it ends with this page, which appears to be decal and stencils. Position of stencil data. So British Aircraft Corporation TSR2 position of status stencil data. So there you go, the double instructions. So some more paperwork. So you got this, put that away. So you got this colour sheet, which is M5. So this side is a double-sided. Still just peek here. So on this side you got the TSR2.MS. the version that you see in the anime version, in the anime show. And so unlike the BAC version, there's no undercarriage on this one, or rather there isn't any fit undercarriage on this one. I assume this little nozzle here, as you can see, is an auxiliary rocket model, rocket thruster, and you got the massive missile underneath as well. So the decals are far more limited, got grey areas on top of the wings and so on. The BAC version is all pure white, shown gear down and gear up. So that's pretty good. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to be able to build both versions in this thing, but very happy that it is this way. Decals are very pale. So over here you got the Stratosphere version, little black dots and MS, SJ, and then you got the decals for the cockpit, main decals, which are all very washed out, which I think is how they're supposed to be, and all the stencil data down here. Can't pick it up. Having a look in the light, and the decals do look nice and thin, minimal carrier film, so should be good to fit, should be good to go. So I'll get a bit of tape onto this. Where's that tape gone? Wow. Hopefully to keep it all together. Okay then, down for some plastic. So the first bit, you have a stand. Now this will be the one, it's an Airfix stand, things you don't see very often in modern aircraft kits. Get the big scissors out and cut it open. Interesting, you've also got what looks like a place for 2 AA batteries in the bottom there, so I guess you want to do some lighting in this vehicle. Not sure why you would, but there's space for that. I can see that there's a hole there, and there's a little hole in here as well, which, can you see that? Yeah, just there. So basically when these two parts are together, this will allow you to pass a wire through if you need it. Interesting. So that's the stand. And the rest of it, one big bag of plastic. So right at the top here we have the fuselage. First bits of plastic we come across are the main fuselage of this vehicle. On the inside, very little detailing, if any, just spaces and markings for, or fittings for internal pieces. On the outside, you've got a very fine satin finish on the plastic, some panel lines. See if we can get some detail visible on this. The panel lines just about visible. Can get them in, there you go. So overall it looks pretty nice. Having said that, when I was watching somebody building one of these the other day, he said that it didn't go together quite as well as he'd like. It looked like the parts didn't appear to fit together perfectly well, but I'll worry about that when I get to building. So next, sprue at random, So these screws aren't numbered specifically, so this one appears to be the cockpit normal pilots. You've got the pilots and their ejector seats. Various panels here, internal cockpit areas. Pretty average for what I'd expect from Airfix. Yeah, it looks pretty good, to be honest. Looks fine to me. Next, sprue off the top. Again, sprue whatever. You've got parts numbered 39 to 86 in no particular order. Got the jet parts, the jet engines over there, which have been folded over because they've been molded standing up, but they've been folded over, folded in. The spikes of the jet engines, the tail exhaust rather, which looks familiar. It actually looks a bit like the tail end of the what's it called, the Phoenix from South Ninja Team Gatchaman, also known as here in the West as a Battle of the Planets. At least that's what it looks like to me. Yeah, so that's that sprue there. Lots of little pieces, a couple of bombs, or a bomb rather, not a couple of bombs, and what I think is the nose cone as well. Right, let's go on to the next sprue. So this is the main wing of it, top half and bottom half. Tail fin there, one single part tail fin, and tail planes as well, also a single part. Very thin, but very nicely molded, nice and sharp. Everything looks pretty good here. There's lots of very fine lines on the wing there. See if we can get them in. Is it visible? It's difficult to get a shadow on it, but but I can see it, and trust me, the detail on here looks very fine and looks pretty nice indeed on all the external surfaces. Nice dense plastic and everything. Next sprue, and I think this is the largest sprue in the box. You have the lower half of the fuselage. Yeah, I think this is the lower half of the fuselage. This will go inside the fuselage. I think that's a part of the front of the fuselage, or the top of the fuselage. So you've got some internal pieces there. So internal wheel wells, main gear wells. Got landing gear over here. The cockpit, the normal cockpit, should I say. So I think these are all parts of the TSR2 BAC as we know it version. Again, all the surface finishing is very nice and clean, crisp. Nice strong very hard plastic, a lot harder than I associate with the Airfix these days. I looked at an Airfix kit a while back, I say a while back, about a year ago, and this plastic certainly looks nicer, even though this I think is an older kit than the one I looked at. So there you go. So the detailing is all very nice, the wheels, main wheels there and so on. Main cockpit, parts of the landing gear. So there you go, yeah. Again, I'm very pleased with everything I see here. And last but not least, I think these are the parts that convert your TSR2 into an M5 Stratos 4 variant. So very different cockpit, as you can see there. Couple of little crew members there, and so this piece here I think is the extra booster that goes in the back just above the engines, under the tail fin rather. The cockpit there, there's a rather odd design, but yeah, I suppose it makes sense in the anime show. I'll let you know when I watch it. The massive rocket missile that rides underneath the vehicle, and a couple of extra boosters. What's the word? JTOs, they will be called, something like that. Jet assisted takeoff rockets. So there we have it. So this is basically the extra sprue that converts the M5 in the TSR2 into the TSR2 M5. So again, I'm very happy with what the plastic looks like. It all looks very well made, very nicely molded and so on. Let's see if I can find a date. Wondering when these were made, and I can't see a date as such on the plastic anywhere. So look, where would they put it if it was there anyway? Because this extra sprue is the only one that actually has any extra information on it, which is over here, and it says ATML 00135. So again, I don't know what that means. So yeah, I'll just have a quick look at the manual and see if there's any date that I didn't notice before. So Hornby Hobbies, looking at the colour guide, painting guide, it just says, well, there's no actual date on here that I can see. The manual doesn't have a date in it either. Little sticker up here. Do they normally put dates on these things? I don't know, and not all that concerned, to be honest. But there you have it. Oh, one more piece that I forgot about. So here we have the canopy, clear parts. I won't take them out of the back because I don't think you need to. And as you can see, there is some structure to these parts, and they look pretty good. There doesn't appear to be, I can't feel much in the way of there aren't any lines. That I can just about feel it through there, so I should be able to get the masking tape on there without too much hassle on cutting it to size. So I'll see if I can get hold of some masks for this thing. Anyway, that is the TSR2, British Aircraft Corporation TSR2. Also, in this case, you've got the TSR2.MS version, as you may find in the Japanese animated TV series Stratos 4. So anyway, that's it for this first look at this vehicle. Let me see, just another quick word where it says here XR219 or XR220 at Royal Air Force Museum Cosford, or XR222 at Imperial War Museum Duxford. So it appears that there's two versions available now, still alive rather, at a couple of aircraft museums. I know that at least one of the prototypes was used for target practice by other aircraft from the bombing range, which was a sad way to go. And a lot of the materials and jigs used to build this vehicle were destroyed. Just made a bonfire and threw everything on there. And luckily, it looks like at least two versions were, two prototypes were saved, and can be seen in a couple of museums. There you go. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, tell your friends. If you didn't like it, tell them why. And again, have a good time enjoy your modelling, those of you who are modelling. And if you're not modelling, have a go, you might enjoy it. Take care everybody.